All right, I am excited for today's show, all the way up from hot Atlanta, but originally from the Gym City. She left us years ago. I have an author of Understanding Anger, the host of Minding My Mental, a mental health therapist, and all around just badass chick. So today, special guest for you guys, Tieara Leeann on the show. Welcome, young lady.
Oh, hey Todd. Thank you for having me today.
So you wore this great green outfit on set today because we got St. Patty's Day tomorrow, right?
Exactly.
Is that why you did it?
Yeah,
You were afraid the guys would pinch or something?
Yeah, I wanted to give you a little holiday festivity,
Well, I appreciate that. Let's start about why you abandoned the Gym City.
Abandoned.
Yeah, you left us.
No,
you left us like stepkids. You rolled out. You went to Atlanta where the food is great, entertainment vibe is cool, and you left us all stranded here in Dayton years ago.
I didn't abandon Dayton. I moved away, but I still come and visit all the time. But I had no choice because I wanted to further my career for one. I wanted to be somewhere where it was like, a bigger city. I wanted to experience different things. And most importantly, my mom lived in Atlanta first. So, of course, I had to go wherever she was at because I was so young at the time and I'm the only child. So I really didn't have that support that I needed. My safe space was in Atlanta. So that's how I ended up there.
You still happy with that decision? You still good with your decision to leave us stranded in Dayton, Ohio? And take all your talents to the ATL?
It's funny that you said that because I actually feel like I left so soon that I didn't really get the chance to really explore dating as an adult like other people have. So the experience that like my friends or my cousins or, people that I know here had in terms of career or in terms of jobs and stuff like that, I never got the chance to experience that. I had to move to Atlanta. So I wish I would have had an adulthood somewhat here in Dayton, but unfortunately I had to leave. But I don't like the word abandoned because I never, one thing about it, I never forgot where I came from. Anyone that knows me in Atlanta, the first thing they always say, you will rep your city. You rep Dayton down. Like everybody knows about Dayton because of me in Atlanta.
I think Dayton is such a implant spot. Like when I run into people that are not from Dayton and I run into them here in Dayton, they're always from Atlanta or Cleveland.
Really?
Like the two cities I run into like almost all the time. And when I'm down in Atlanta, I always run into people that are from Dayton. Like it's crazy to me. When I go to Pittsburgh or LA or Vegas or Nashville, like I don't run into the people from those spots for whatever reason. So like, I don't know what it is. I don't know why people
attracted to people from Atlanta and Cleveland.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah. And everybody always asks me when I tell them I'm from Ohio, are you from Cleveland? That's the thing in Atlanta.
Yeah.
They think that everyone that's from Ohio is from Cleveland, Ohio. I always say, no, I'm from Dayton, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I always correct it.
All right, let's talk about the Gym City. So you did have some childhood here in the Gym City. And, I get this impression because we've just recently met. I just recently started following your social media, blown away by some of the stuff you put out there. Like I feel like I know what your purpose is. And we're going to talk about that a lot here in a little bit. But I also understand and feel like there's something deeper that everybody doesn't get to hear or see all the time. And maybe growing up in Dayton, you weren't the same person that you are today. Mm-hmm. And when you gave me one of your books today, the first page I opened up to coincidentally had a paragraph in there that I read to, and I'm like, I don't know, what is this? It was like I used to use my words and fight, and that's not the person that you are today. It's not exactly what the paragraph says, but pretty close to it.
I used to use my hands to fight. Now I use my mind to fight.
Yeah.
So that sentence was just highlighted because, of course, I wrote my book about anger. Anger can be associated with fights or arguments, confrontation in general. I used to, before I moved to Atlanta, I used to get into a lot of fights in my younger days. So I was just hanging with the wrong crowd, and that's something that we did, and I'm so happy. Like I would never change that because it kind of like molded my character. Because I'm a fighter at heart. Like I'm never giving up. Like that, I always had that in me. So the fight is there, and I think people don't know like you said, the backstory of the fighter in me. So yeah, so I wanted to highlight that in the beginning to just show people that I'm just like you. I'm no different. I decided to change and put my education first and not jeopardize my future by fighting or getting into things that I know I shouldn't have gotten into.
Were you any good at it? Fighting.
What do you mean?
Were you any good? Were you a good fighter?
Yeah.
Be honest. You can be honest.
Was I a good fighter?
Be honest with me. Were you good?
You are
Did you win? Did you win? How many times you get knocked out?
I definitely won.
How many times you got knocked out?
0.
How many earrings you lose in a fight? Because you got these big, long ass earrings on. Did you fight in those?
I've lost a few earrings. Yeah.
How many times did you lose?
Nails, but that's one of the main reasons why I do not like fighting. Because I don't want to mess my hair up. I don't want to mess my nails up.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose my jewelry. So yeah.
So what would a typical fight in Dayton, Ohio be about?
The typical fight? I mean, stupid stuff. It could be over men, over, oh, you looked at me funny, or just stupid stuff.
Yeah, neighborhood type stuff.
Half of the stuff I was getting into, I didn't even know the backstory. I just was helping my friends because I see my friends fighting. So it was just crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. I got into some things but one thing about it, I never fought at school. So
no, not at all.
No. I mean, I think it was one thing that made the newspaper one time with cheerleaders. I was a cheerleader. So it was like a rivalry thing with another basketball team.
You guys fought another cheerleading squad? No, you can't graze over this like it's nothing. You said maybe it made the newspaper. What was in the newspaper?
It was like I think it was a fight. I can't remember. I don't recall the whole thing, but I know that it made the newspaper. And I didn't get suspended because I didn't physically fight anyone. As
I said to you earlier in the green room, and what I find interesting is you're sitting here today, well put together. People watching this are like, oh, she's a beautiful female. She's young. She very well spoken. And it reminds me of my wife. My wife is gorgeous, blonde, very well put together. They don't know that she was like a little gangster chick growing up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's like, oh, your wife is so sweet. I'm like, she would have smashed a bottle over your head at a bar when she was a young girl.
Yeah.
And people they're like, you're such a liar, Todd. Like your wife would never do that. I'm like, stop playing with me. Like I sleep wide open just in case I made her mad before I went to bed. But you couldn't tell it now.
That's fascinating. I love that.
You love that my wife might bottle me?
I love the fact that, and you understand it, you see it, you understand it, and you know her, like you know that part of her. And to you, I mean, it doesn't bother you, obviously, because she's changed, but it's good to know that. It's good to know that you're with someone that can defend their self, or, that won't allow people to bully them. So it's good to know that you have to have that fight in you, and I don't think anything is wrong with that. So, but I think it's funny though, because a lot of people think that, like, I'm just so cool, calm. I am calm, but it's a side of me that can definitely defend myself.
You got a phone booth you go into and just switch it up.
Confused.
Here's what the funniest thing to me is, my kids. I have a 19-year-old daughter, 18-year-old daughter, 13-year-old son. And probably my 13-year-old son, more often than not, like he'll get that mouth running and, he'll try to get tough on his mom. And I'm like, and I'm just sitting there on the couch listening to him and she's being nice. And I'm like, bro, you're about to hit the button. Like you're about to hit the button. And I'm just thinking in my mind, like, whatever. And then like, she'll grab him and slam him and be like, bro, like, you don't know who I am. You know what I'm saying? He gets like his face. I've seen it happen with my kids a couple times when they like get to mouthing off because they think they're tough and cool, especially the older girls. I'm like, you don't even know, man. She was tough. Like she will break you. They think she's just a little sweet. Like, oh, I can get one over my mom. I tell my son all the time, I'm like, bro, like your mom is tougher than you will ever be.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like you better watch your mouth.
Exactly.
That's all right though. So people change, and I think that's a big part of it. And as you think about that in your life, here in Dayton, was any of that what led you to kind of social work and mental services?
Yes. So what led me wasn't the fact that I was from Dayton. What led me to social work was me seeing the need in communities for people who can care for children. So it started off with children. I remember in high school I did that. You know how they have you do different projects? So we had to do like a policy project.
Mm-hmm.
So we basically use something that we're passionate about that's involving the system, justice or whatever. And we had to present a presentation. And me and my friend, I will never forget, we did a project on people growing up in foster care. I never knew that she was in foster care. But when we were like pondering, coming up with different policies that we wanted to speak on, I end up saying it. I said, how about we do the policy on kids that grew up in foster care? And she looked at me and she was like, she was puzzled. She thought that I knew that she was in foster care. I never knew that.
No idea, huh?
I didn't have a clue. I thought the person who was bringing her back and forth to school was her mom. But she ended up telling me like, no, that's my foster mom. My mom passed away when I was younger, blah, blah, blah. And we got so deep into this project. We bringing up policies, researching things. And I was just like, we really fought. Like, we really fought for this project. I think we wanted to implement children not being split up from their siblings.
Okay.
I don't like that.
No, that's horrible.
Yeah. So that was one of the policies that we raised, and we got an A. And from there, I kind of, it sparked that social worker in me, because once I moved on and I went to college, I went to UT. The first couple of years, I was indecisive. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I used to always give the vague response, oh, I want to help people. Like, come on now. We got to come up with something a little more in depth. So as I got to know myself more, I realized that people gravitated towards me. It was like magnetic energy, but it wasn't from me saying anything. I noticed that. Like, I don't even have to say a word for some reason. Like, I can just sit down and people would just start talking to me. Not just talking, but telling me everything. So that's when I was like, okay, I think that I need to do something with that involves me helping people solve problems or either just listening to them. So that's how I got involved in therapy. Well, I became a case manager first because, it's levels to it. So I started off as a case manager. Everybody that I had as clients, they thought I was a therapist, but I really was just a case manager.
Yeah. What did you want to be growing up as a little girl?
So it's so funny. I wanted to do brain surgeon. I wanted to work. I always wanted to do things that consist of the brain, whether it was psychology or whether it was just, learning more. Like, how does the brain function? What is it wired to? Why are we thinking like this? Why are we acting like this? So I couldn't do that because I have a weak gut, so I didn't want to do anything that involves blood.
Weak
so
gut?
Why not? Yeah.
You don't like blood?
No, I can't stand the sight of like seeing blood and stuff. So
brain surgery was out. Anything else like that you didn't want to be like
out.
Dallas Cowboys cheerleader or rugby player or something, or like nothing crazy that you want to be growing up?
A rapper. I used to rap.
See, I knew there was something. Why were you trying to lie to me just now?
I was.
We're sitting here in a vulnerable place in my studio, and you're trying to hold back on me. Why?
I'm not holding back. I used to have.
What kind of rapper?
What do you mean?
What kind of rap? Like what kind of rap?
I used to rap with my cousins all the time.
You want to beat?
Hey, I will tell you right now, I'm the baddest around. Anybody step to me, I'm about to put them down. I got those bars right.
What was that? 6 bars?
It's more in the chamber, trust me. But I used to do that for fun all the time, like at school with my friends and at home. So yeah, I used to just play around. I love music too. So let's just say that. But it took me a while to really like that question is it's a tough question. Like, what do you want to be?
Yeah, we all had dreams growing up.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player.
Yeah.
But this is, I guess I'll tell you a secret because you're here.
What?
I'm kind of a rapper too.
Let me hear you spit something.
Karaoke rap is my go-to.
Okay, let me hear it.
Not much of a freestyler.
Okay.
I'm more of like.
What songs do you sing during karaoke?
Well, like, it depends on the vibe, but I like LL Cool J, I Need Love.
Let's hear you do a little snippet.
Yeah, like what's my other ones?
Let me get a little snippet.
Of what? LL Cool J?
Yeah, I Need Love.
When I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall, and in the back of my mind, I hear my conscience call, telling me I need a girl who's as sweet as a dove for the first time in my life. I see I need love. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
Anyway, I can do the whole song, but I won't do it because I don't want. I got stuff going on. I don't want labels trying to blow my podcast up. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll want me to come away. Right. But we all have dreams growing up.
Yep.
And I think it's amazing when I talk to entrepreneurs, incredible entrepreneurs like yourself, how our dreams evolve and how we turn in our life at different steps and the different, periods that we go through. Because, I went through law enforcement, I got into real estate, then healthcare space, and now I'm speaking on stages around the world. And it's like, I think oftentimes it's hard to think back, like, I never really thought that I'd be where I'm at today. Do you ever have that feeling?
You never thought that you would be where you're at now?
Yeah, like doing what I'm doing today. Like if you would have asked me when I was 18, 19 years old, if I would be standing on a stage in front of thousands of people, motivating people or talking about entrepreneurship, that never crossed my mind,
really?
And like you're down in Atlanta, you're helping a lot of kids, you're helping women, like you're helping, really what you do is pretty cool because you can help anybody. Like you're not like a one-trick pony. But looking at where you're at right now in life, when you're 18 years old, would that have crossed your mind that that's what you'd be doing or where you'd be at?
No. I would have never thought that I would be in this space professionally. No. But I always knew that I would be successful. I knew that I would be someone in this world.
Yeah.
I did have that feeling.
Well, fight and grind is not something you teach people.
Fight and grind?
Yeah, like if you're a grinder in business, like if you're a fighter and like you fight for everything you got, it's just something you can't put inside of somebody, right? Like they either have that dog inside of them or they don't. And that's the challenging thing. Like when I mentor people, like you either know how to grind and hustle or you don't.
Right.
Like maybe
can they teach it?
They can pick up a little bit about what you do, but it's never going to be the same.
Yeah, you can't teach it.
Never going to be the same. So social work, and you're a case manager, but a lot of people stay case managers for a long time in their life.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm in that space, right? We talked about earlier. I'm in the mental health space with group homes and even with like disabilities. So we work closely with a lot of case managers, and a lot of them stay there forever. So at some point, you had to make a decision that you weren't happy with just doing that.
Right.
When was that? And like, what made you say like, this isn't what I'm going to do? Like I have a bigger calling that's out there for me.
The impact. It's always the impact for me. Once I see that I'm doing something and it's working and I'm fulfilled in that area, I'm wanting to move to the next thing. So like, remember I told you the clients, they thought I was their therapist already. When I was a case manager, they thought I was their therapist. So that alone gave me motivation because it's like I'm being paid for. I'm doing this and not getting paid for it anyway. So why not go back to school and get my master's? Because when I had my bachelor's, they told me it was a 2-year program. Really, it turned out to be 4. Not tripping, but yeah. So I was like, why won't I go back to school for 2 more years and I can, increase my salary and also learn more about how to help people, because I'm helping them on a economic or social level, but I'm not helping them on a mental level how I really would like to. And that's what I noticed a lot. Like I wanted to bridge the gap. We were giving them services for case management, but a lot of the times they needed help with psychological things that was going on too. So I didn't want to step into that space and not have, the education behind it. So I had to go back to school, learn more. I learned so much, not only about the field, but about myself. So it's just I don't know, it's a blessing to be able to study something like psychology because not only do you apply it to other people, I can apply it to myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, even in that space, I with therapy, I'm okay. Now it's time for me to do a practice. But a lot of people do stay in those spaces, like case managers, peer pros. I know people that's been doing it for 10 years plus. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Me personally, I couldn't because I know that it's more people to touch. And when you're working up under someone, it's only so much you could do. So
Yeah, I'm going to give you an opportunity here. Are you ready?
yes.
So you're this educated, powerful young lady. I'm going to give you an opportunity to tell our entire audience the number one psychology trick that you use against guys that try to date you right now.
Oh my God.
No, go ahead. Camera. This is your camera right here. It's all yours. Let's do it.
Why would I tell my trick?
Because I want to help the dudes of Atlanta. That's what I want to do.
Oh man,
I don't want you going back to ATL doing the same psychology stuff.
Trick that I use.
What do you pull from your psychology tool belt with dating?
In my dating realm? I mean, it's very simple, I think. And I know we always hear this quote, don't chase, attract. I think that's one of the superpowers that I have. And I mean, it works. It's very simple. Don't chase, attract it. And that works for me. And it's not a trick. It's just, I'm not into the whole chase thing.
Yeah.
You know? I like to be chased sometimes.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, man, you heard it here first. So if you're in Atlanta, you got to chase. That's what happened. That's what's going to happen.
And don't be ashamed to,
I mean, I don't know. Like,
get out there and get what you want. If you know what you want, then it'll come.
Now, what happened? Now, let me ask you this. That's a good point. Now, what happens if? Okay, I'm going to say it here. I don't believe that we all have a soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, people can disagree with me. You guys can disagree with me. I don't care. I don't believe we all have a soulmate.
Uh-huh.
And I tell my daughters this all the time. Right? Let's say you do have a soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
What if your soulmate is in Portland, Oregon?
Right.
But you never visit Portland, Oregon.
Right.
So maybe you never find your soulmate, right?
Exactly.
So having one soulmate, that can't be real. I don't think.
No, I think soulmates could be friends. It could be just platonic relationships.
Yeah.
Your best friend can be your soulmate.
Yeah. So when God created whatever, if you believe in God, I do. I'm a Christian.
Yes, I believe in God.
So if we really believe in God and He created all of these great things, right? And we have man and we have woman, would He have really set up a world where only or mostly rich people marry rich people, poor people marry poor people? I don't think that was the world that He envisioned, but you see that in our society, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of where we live, where we grow up at, what economical, socio group that we come from. And that's why I try to explain to my daughters. I'm like, they're like, well, Dad, I can't help who I love.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, you can. Right. Yes, you can. If you only allow yourself to experience this group of people, then you only ever give yourself the opportunity to love this group of people.
Right.
But how about you take yourself and you go hang out with this group of people or in this environment, right?
Yeah.
And it's we look at actors, right?
Right.
How many Hollywood people have kids that are married to other Hollywood kids, right?
Right.
What do you think? You think we all have one soulmate, or you think that if you're talking to young people right now that are thinking about love, and it's just on my mind because my daughters are so young right now, they're in that stage where my one just loves boys, right? Mm-hmm. What would you say to them? Like, is it like give yourself more opportunities, or you're like, no, you have one soulmate, you'll find him eventually?
No, I think you shouldn't be so soulmate driven about it, Bring back the organic chemistry, make it where you're open, and when you're out and about or you're in these areas where you can possibly meet someone, be open to them and not focus so much on this list or this, like going off of things that you feel like you should go off of just simply because you want to meet a soulmate.
Yeah.
Meet this person, get to know them, because maybe it's not your soulmate. Maybe this is just a cool person that you need to know. So in terms of dating, I don't think you should just go out there and say, oh, I'm going to go meet my soulmate. Like you said, it's not, I don't think that we're designed for that, because you can meet your soulmate, but that doesn't mean you met your husband.
Yeah.
You know? So interest has a lot to do with it. Attraction has a lot to do with it. Those are some other key factors.
You know, society pisses me off all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, you're shallow. It's not all about the looks. It's not all about that. But they leave out all of the other parts, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's not all about the looks. It's not all about money. It's not all about whatever. But I think if you're a person that wants to find love and you want to marry the person of your dreams or whoever it is, it starts with all that stuff to me, right? Like, you're not going to talk to somebody that you don't find attractive, that you can't see yourself kissing or waking up in the morning, you know, the rest of your life with, right? Like, society has such a large group of people that are so shallow about the topic, and people are afraid of, like, well, you know, it's not about the looks. You should give other people a try. No, you shouldn't. Like,
I just came up with this standard. I feel like you should only date or entertain someone that you know that's your type. You know, like we all have type, we all have preferences. If you know that this person likes you or they're trying to pursue you and you're not attracted to them, why would you even continue to invest time and energy into that? If you, in your mind, you know, like I always tell my clients, it may be you for them, you know, but is it them for you though?
Yeah.
And that's the part where I feel like we lose that connection, because people are getting pulled. And it's just like, okay, you can easily release yourself by not even entertaining something that's not your preference.
You ready for my advice on dating?
Yes.
This is the young people. And honestly, I think you should pay me money for the advice I'm getting ready to tell you.
Okay.
It's so good. Because are you still dating? Are you in a relationship?
No, I'm not dating.
Okay, not dating. Okay, gotcha. Won't go any further because I got a dirty look, Miles. At the end of the day, here's my advice. I coach travel baseball. I've been coaching like travel sports for a long, long time. So every year we have tryouts for our travel team. We might only have 1 or 2 open positions. You hear me? Like on our roster.
1 or 2 positions?
Yeah, that might be the only position. We might only have 1 spot that's open on our roster.
Okay.
Okay. My rule has always been this. I'll have 60 to 100 kids come to a tryout every year for maybe 1 position. All right. Maybe I could slide a second position. But my rule has always been very simple. If a kid at tryouts doesn't beat out the top 5 in my roster, currently, they can't be on my roster. They can't be number 8. They can't be number 9. They can't be 11. They can't be 12. So I think in dating, as you're a young person, you're trying to figure yourself out, figure out life, figure out who you're dating. I think that's an interesting concept to think, right? Like, because a lot of young people, you know, depending on who they are, they might have a roster when they're dating. And if somebody doesn't fit in that top 5 of your roster, why waste your time with them?
That's basically what I'm saying.
That's good advice.
That's great advice.
That's our next book we can write together. Exactly. We'll call it The Roster.
Exactly. They don't even make the cut.
That's a bestseller.
Yeah.
I'm a genius. We can do it.
Yeah.
All right. So for you in what you do, right? You work a lot with kids. What's your, I don't want to say favorite, because I get this feeling from you talking with you that you enjoy just helping people. That's the kind of feeling I get from you. And if you ask a parent like, oh, well, who's your favorite kid?
Right.
They shouldn't really give you an answer, you know? Or if you ask me, I'll tell you an answer. I'll be like, man, I didn't like her when she was 13 and 16, you know, my daughter. Yeah. I'm like, I didn't like my boy when he was like this age. I said, so it depends on what period of time you asked me.
You had your favorite.
I had my favorites at different periods, right?
Okay.
And when my daughters were in that, you know, that phase that girls go through, right around that 12, 13, 14, I didn't like them. Didn't like them. They were mean.
Your son was your favorite then?
During that period, like what I would say is like during the ages of like so far, like 12 and 13, I like him as a boy a lot more than I liked raising girls at 12 and 13.
Got you.
It was different. But now like my daughter that's a senior in high school, she's getting ready to go to play D1 college soccer. I love this part of her life. And my other daughter is a freshman in college, and I love this part of her life.
Wow.
Do you know what I'm saying? And love seeing the women that they're becoming.
Yeah.
But I don't have anything to compare that to, so I can't compare it to my son yet because he's not there yet.
Right.
So if you ask me in, you ask me in 6 years, I'll tell you who was my favorite during that time period.
Got you.
But growing up, like as a little kid, I would say they were all kind of equal.
Okay.
The reason I say that big long story that didn't mean a whole lot was to ask you,
oh my God,
what's the favorite group of people, or if you had one group that you said, like, this is the only group I get to work with the rest of my life in therapy and coaching, whatever, what group would that be right now?
Right now, I think it will be the kids. Coming in first will be kids. Second will be women. Women around my age. Those are my favorites.
22, 23-year-old women?
I'm not 22. In their 30s. 30.
I just tried to help you, and you're blowing it up.
Maybe 20, 30. 20 to
It's like that
30.
20 to 35 range?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you like so much about helping the kids?
The kids are what I notice about them, they just want someone to vent to. They need that outlet. And I think once they have that outlet, you see the results in their behavior. It changes. So it's different from adults because I can give adults suggestions or, they can vent, but revert back to the same behaviors like it's nothing. But with children, I see how easily they adapt to the redirection or just react to having someone to talk to. And it, to me, is more fulfilling when kids are involved because it's such a sensitive population,
Mm-hmm.
And kids need it. I feel like kids need therapy at a younger age because their behavior is more environmental. They're just picking up on things that they see that's around them that's influenced. So to be that positive influence for children is like a different level of love.
Yeah.
It
Are
really
you?
is.
We've talked about it a couple times on the show. I have a couple friends that are famous comedians, and one of them talked about like his ADHD growing up, and it seems like a topic I have all the time about medicating kids, not just with like ADHD, but like I'll hear other adults talking about how their kids are on some type of medication to keep them chill or to help their emotions and things like that. Are you a believer in medicating kids?
I used to not believe in medicating kids, but now, yes. And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm a believer in medicating the kids because a lot of the kids with diagnoses like ADHD, depression, anxiety, or even maybe suicidal for whatever reason, they really cannot control their thoughts. Even if I tell them to, you could tell a child, calm down, relax. I had a child tell me, I'm trying. I'm trying. Like, I'm trying
Right.
to. So, with that being said, if someone is trying to do something and just can't, it's out of control. So, that means they need something to stabilize that.
Mm-hmm.
They really need the help. They're trying their hardest. And that's for anyone. It's easier said than done. And I learned that through my family. I have a cousin, she calls me all the time. She's diagnosed with anxiety. And whenever she's going into these like panic attacks or just freaking out about the smallest things, I always tell her, because I can talk to her, in a way where I may not be able to talk to my clients. So I'm like, you need to calm down, quit freaking out, like da da da. But she can't help it. She just cannot. She tries. And she told me, like, I'm trying. It's easier said than done, but it's something that I just cannot control. So in those cases where it becomes an out of control situation, how about we bring in the medication, maybe the Adderall or, maybe some Zoloft, maybe something that can stabilize your mind and that can help you function and not cause you to spiral. Because so many, I feel like we all think different, differently. We have our minds is made up differently, and we don't respond to situations. Our nervous system just is different for all of us. It's easy for me to, if you were to start yelling at me, it's easy for me to sit here with a straight face because I've already trained my mind to do that, But some people, soon as they are triggered, they're so. I mean, I believe in medication. I definitely think that it's not a bad option. I believe in holistic healing as well, and I believe in therapy, of course. But I think if you combine those things together, you can become unstoppable.
I see your argument. So they're like, I'm trying, and they can't. Like, it's just a little extra to get them there. So with that same theory, do you believe in like medicating your husband?
What do you mean by that?
He's like, I'm trying to be sweet. I'm trying to do little things to make you know that I love you. I'm trying to be a good man. Do you medicate him to make it happen?
Do you medicate? No, but you have patience. You have a sense of understanding.
I'm just trying to help the guys in Atlanta know if they're gonna wake up one night and you slipped a pill in their mashed potatoes.
I wouldn't do that. I feel like it's when it comes to medication, it's totally up to you. If you feel like that's something you would do, that's what I would do. If I knew that I had an issue with controlling something, I would try my best to get it under control.
Yeah. So for kids, let's dig into a little bit more. Like, and I want to be serious about it. I was just joking with you about the guys and the mashed potatoes, but also your guys' tip, just in case you need me to help you.
Oh my God.
But for kids, like, I don't think that I'm like 100% against medication. I think I'm against just throwing pills at a kid that we said, like doctors, and this is what drives me nuts. Like, oh, he has ADHD. Like, what kid doesn't? Like, almost every kid does in my mind, right? Like I did when growing up, and I didn't get medication. I had friends that did, and here's where it really gets to me: is as an entrepreneur, most of the entrepreneurs that I know that are high earners, like top 1%, like people that I rock with, and even my closest friends and me, like our minds are almost all identical.
Exactly.
They're going 150 miles an hour, blah 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 blah. And now that I'm an adult, like I can't sleep at night. Give me 2 or 3 hours, I'm cool. Right. But now that I'm an adult and I'm around all these incredible business owners and entrepreneurs and just rock stars in the space, now I look back as a kid where I couldn't concentrate in class. I was always like, maybe kind of acting up a little bit, being the class clown because I couldn't pay attention to the work. I didn't like studying. I didn't like any of that. And growing up, they told me I had ADHD and I wasn't on medication or anything. But now as an adult, I look at how my entrepreneurial mind works. And I'm like, was that just normal? Was that God setting me up for all the things that I was going to have to deal with as an adult by giving me that mindset?
ADHD is very prevalent. I feel like I have ADHD.
Were you medicated?
No, I didn't.
So let's ask that real quick. Do you wish that somebody would have medicated you for ADHD?
No. I wish that I would have a better understanding, but once I researched and I educated myself about ADHD, I realized that it's not a cure.
Yeah.
It's something that you really have to just accept. I'm going to move at a certain speed. I need my space. I have a million ideas that I want to work on. I can be clumsy at times. Those are some of the symptoms, and it's just who I am. And it's nothing that I feel like is a negative thing. Like it's a lot, like you said, a lot of high earners, entrepreneurs that has ADHD. And it could just come from just having an overload of ideas, an overload of excitement, an overload of whatever, any emotion. But I don't think it's harmful at all.
All right. So I like what you said earlier, though. You were talking about, healing holistically and healing through therapy and through medication. And I've always been a believer in that, right? It's like if we can take an overall look at a situation and bring everybody to the table, because like our mental health clients, and this is going to lead me into what our conversation is going to be about. I get frustrated on the daily with our mental health
Yeah.
and what services our clients are able to get, the funding that's out there for them. And we can dig into that a little bit. But what drives me nuts is when you have all these different agencies or let's say case managers or like, because often one of our clients, they might have 3 or 4 people that are handling their case. Like depending on who it is, they might have like, okay, let's talk about it. They have a payee that helps pay all their bills most of the time, like our clients do. They have a case manager. They have a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
They might, if they've been in some criminal trouble, they might have, a probation officer or some type of liaison within the court system, depending on what that is. Then you might have a housing coordinator. Like there could be 6 to 10 people all
On
doing, the caseload for this person, right? On the case team is what they typically call it. And very often, not everybody comes together and talks as one unit and says, okay, how do we all work together to put this person in the right situation, to get them in the right direction that will give them the ability to live out life on their terms and in the best possible way that they can? That's my frustration, besides funding. And we can talk about funding.
That's my frustration as well.
So what do we do to change it? Like what changes?
Continue to advocate. So when you ask me the question about the children, that is why I do like working with children specifically to advocate, because they don't have the voice, or they may not have the time or the energy to be able to advocate for themselves, especially if they're going through all these different behavioral changes. They half of the time they don't know what's going on, and then the parent or the group home or whatever they're giving them this medication. They're not explaining to them, okay, this is for this, or let me know how you feel.
Yeah.
I'm the one, like with one of the contracts I have now, I have to talk to the doctor, because I want you to know this child's behavior. I want you to know we're experiencing. If child came in and let's say they're being disruptive and they're getting put out of school each and every day, and they're prescribed medication, they take their medication, but these same behaviors are happening, that should tell us that this medication is not working. And I always argue that point all the time. And then you have, like you said, you may have probation officers, you may have the social worker. So now you have a case where, well, in some cases, the children may be lacking the essentials that they may need. They may not have clothes. They may not have food. They may not even have shelter. I've dealt with kids living in the car, you know, and I can't give them therapy in this space. They are ready to eat me alive.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I used to pull up on my clients with food, resources. Before we even talk, let me put something on your stomach, because I know you're not even worried about cognitive behavioral therapy right now.
Yeah.
Your stomach is growling. So let's make sure we start there. So a lot of times what I was doing, I wanted to collaborate with the other people that were on the treatment team. In most cases, it's like, okay, everybody's kind of doing their own thing, but we're not really helping the child. We're not really making a difference. I'm progress based. I like solutions. I like to see some progress. If I don't see that, we're not suitable. But in most cases, that's what landed me, in the space that I'm in today, because of my results.
Yeah.
Every client I ever deal with, like from the moment I stepped in Atlanta, they still call me still to this day. Thank you, Miss Tearra. You changed my life. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even know how to do this or that, because I'm really into it. I'm not just doing it just to say I showed up. No, I'm into it because I know that you have needs. And to me, I'm so resourceful. It don't cost me nothing to be able to, provide that. If I say this is what I do, if you're a case manager, if you're a therapist, if you're, group home owner, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like we have to change that. We have to root and recruit the people who really are passionate.
It's tough though. It's tough because the pay isn't where it needs to be for mental health workers, for case managers, for housing managers, for behavioral health specialists. Those aren't high paying jobs, right?
Well, they can be.
but not the normal one. The normal one
about them staying in the same position for a long time.
Yeah,
you have to reposition yourself too.
That's what I'm saying. Most of them don't.
For
though.
The money.
Like you weren't happy being a case manager, so you took different steps to put yourself in different fields. A lot of them don't, and they become a county employee for years and years and years. And maybe they have some step increases, but all these positions are not the highest paying, right? So if there's somebody that wants to kind of go up a little bit, yeah, you can make decent money. But the typical one we deal with, they're not making like crazy money, right? And they might have a caseload of 30, 40 clients.
But that's why I said passion. That's where the passion come in at. Because even if I didn't get paid, I could still do this.
Sure, you could.
You get what I'm saying? We need more people like that. We need people that's the problem. You shouldn't be driven by the paycheck. You know what I'm saying? You should be driven by the impact. You should be driven by how many lives you're changing because this is the field that you're in. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people get in this field and they don't understand like the real work that comes with it. And it's not even work. It's more so the end goal. What are we doing? Are we setting these kids up for success? Are we being able to reach their needs? Are we giving them the things that they really need in order to win in life? That's so simple. You get what I'm saying? It's not, I'm not showing up for this kid how I need to because I'm only getting paid $20 an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't understand that.
Well, I don't think that I see that. I see most of the case managers I work with are amazing.
Yeah.
Like they really care.
They do.
What I'm saying is you mentioned recruiting.
Yeah.
It's tough.
You said, well, where's the money at? Where's the budget?
It's tough to recruit. So what you end up with is only the people that maybe money's not the only driving factor for them, right? But how many amazing people out there want to be in that space that could do some amazing things, but they also realize that they got to make a different amount of money, you know? So I think we limit our recruiting pool by the wages that we pay, which that's any job, right? Yeah. I understand that. But let me tell you my biggest frustration in the mental health space. Not my biggest. I'm going to get to that one. And you tell me if you agree or not. I left one person of like, let's call it the care team, okay? Like the incomplete wraparound services team. I left one person, and it's not really a person, off of that intentionally. My biggest frustration with any of our mental health clients are the hospitals. And so often, this is what happens. And I deal with all adults, right? Now, I think I'm a therapist for young kids because I coach sports forever, right? And a lot of my kids are inner city kids or in more challenging parts of the area, like my basketball team. You'll see me driving around town when it's basketball season, and I'll have 6 or 7 kids in my car because parents don't have cars, they can't get to practice. I'll pick up my whole freaking team and take them to practice with me. But most of our clients are adults. And oftentimes, like let's say they don't take their medication, or maybe they cheek their medication, spit it out after the people go by, or their levels are just a little bit off and their doctor is playing with it. They might get into a situation where they're having behavioral issues.
Right.
And some of those behavioral issues might be threatening to kill themselves or killing staff or whatever. And for us, we're a mandatory reporter, right? And if somebody says that they're going to take their own life, like we have to report it. We have to call the cops. Yeah. And the cops will come out. And if that person says, yeah, I'm thinking about taking my life, the cops will pink slip them on a 72-hour hold and take them to the hospital.
Right.
And I was a police officer for a long time. And it frustrated me then too, but now even more because I've had clients that are in that situation that have physically cut themselves, okay? Now, we understand, depending on how they cut themselves, what does that really mean? What does that tell us? But I've had clients that have cut themselves, stabbed themselves, said they're going to kill themselves, making threats to staff. Cops come, do exactly what they're supposed to do, put them in the hospital, and that person is back in our home in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
There's clients that we've had to send to the hospital 3 times, and this is what I hear from them at the hospital. They don't really mean it. They're just venting, right? And I'm like, okay, but why don't we take that 72 hours to keep them in a safe location to where their mental health provider can come in and say, okay, maybe we need to fix these levels in their medication or get them in the right place. And I never really got as angry until several months ago. We had one that was twice in the same night, was in the hospital. It was like the 8th time in the week, okay? And we kept telling the hospital worker, which is the social worker at the hospital, we kept saying, listen, he's going to hurt himself or he's going to hurt somebody else, all right? And he comes back to the home after she was like, he's not really a threat to himself or anybody else. He's just talking. I'm like, we're telling you, he's going to hurt somebody. He comes back, ends up knocking one of our female staff members out, like causes damage to her face, you know, like, and we have to send her off the hospital. But we had been trying. It was like the 8th time we sent him to the hospital in the same week. And why do you think that is?
I
Like,
think the level of care, how it's set up, like the process, it's one step that's missing. I've noticed that. It's a step that's missing during a crisis, because I consider that a crisis.
yeah, absolutely.
Homicidal, suicidal ideation crisis, of course. It's like the law enforcement, they don't want to get involved because they're not equipped to, deal with someone with a mental issue or having a mental breakdown. So their first thought is, okay, let's put them in the hospital. But if you think about it, the hospital is not as equipped either, because the hospitals are filled with nurses and the more clinical side of things. But like you said, it's not another level of care that could kind of be in between those spaces that can really help stabilize. I always use that word because with kids, they can get out of control.
Sure.
They will just start going ballistics. And it's like, we have to stabilize the kids. So to get them to a point of calmness and where they're aware of what they're doing. So I think if we could implement another level of care and have it where, like you said, if the child is being seen in the hospital for this behavioral issue, why not bring in behavioral specialists or behavioral professionals that can calm them down, stabilize them, and also come back into the home or wherever they're at to also coach them or to be with them. Now, they do have behavioral aids. A lot of kids with behavioral issues, they do have behavioral aids.
All right, but what don't even adults have behavioral specialists that are assigned to them? What don't they do? Can you think of? There's one thing they don't do. Almost all of them.
They don't do therapy.
They don't answer their phone after 5 p.m. They don't answer it on the weekend.
It's a job. Now, that is an underpaid job where I can see where the neglect may come in at. Because they don't.
And I don't think it's neglect on their part, but it's like, I work till 5 o'clock. I don't work on the weekends. We'll deal with this on Monday. Yeah. That's what we hear all the time. Yeah. So then we're stuck with a staff trying to deal with a client that isn't any more trained besides.
They do that a lot.
Besides being with these people all the time, right? And that's frustrating. They don't. And then you come back Tuesday like, oh, so you had to send him the hot. Well, yeah, we called you 37 times to try to get you to get on the phone because he likes you or he trusts you or whatever. But it's such a repetitive cycle, man.
You know something else that I don't like?
What?
I don't like when they are sent to the hospital and they come out the hospital worse than what they came in.
Which is most of the time.
Most of the time. Yeah. I always tell parents that they need to go to the hospital. They need to, okay. Yeah. Come back. And because they're exposed to other kids that's on another level a higher level than them.
Yeah.
So they're getting exposed to these behaviors and now they're coming home and they are mimicking.
Well, in a lot of kids, like a parent has the police take them to juvie or has them take them to a hospital. Now, on top of the issues that kid's already having, they feel like their parents trying to get rid of them.
Exactly.
And that way is heavy on these kids, man. Like I have a lot of boys I've coached over now my kids I first started coaching 30 years ago, now they're like 6'4", yo, Coach Todd, what up, bro?
Yeah.
But a lot of kids I coached over the years, I've seen that with them is they're like, yeah, man, my parents didn't even want me, blah, blah. They were always calling the police on me or like they were doing the only thing they knew how to do, right? Because they couldn't help it. But kids don't see it that way.
Right. They see it as, oh, you don't want me. You're pushing me away. I don't have nobody. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, and lastly, we can move off this topic, but if I'm talking about what my biggest frustration with mental health is, it's simple.
What?
It's the bullshit politicians and city leaders and federal agencies that try to make our public believe that mental health is important from a funding aspect. Because the funding gap that our mental health clients get compared to what other vulnerable populations get is by far the lowest, right? It's lower than veterans. It's lower than disabilities. It's lower than our senior resources that they have out there. And picture this, and I told you this earlier, an adult that wants in our area that has to live in a group home.
Yeah.
They get from our government $1,600 a month. It's called an RSS check. That is literally what they get. Okay. And then they might have Social Security on top of that, which is their only spending money.
Right.
But even that, it's not even really anymore. But that $1,600 has to cover a 24-hour staff member, 3 meals a day, 2 snacks a day, transportation, furnishing their apartment, cable, internet, phone, like whatever they're going to have in that apartment. $1,600 doesn't go very far.
It doesn't cut it.
And you take somebody that maybe has a disability or something, and those people might have a state waiver anywhere from $150 to $800 per day.
Yeah.
Right? So the funding gap between our vulnerable populations is completely unreal. If you were to call right now around Dayton and try to find a group home for somebody, and I know I get the calls every day from hospitals as far as Cleveland, hospitals over in Indiana, all the way down to Cincinnati, like different places like, hey, we're getting ready to release this, one of my, if it's case manager, they'll be like, hey, one of my clients is getting ready to get out of the hospital. They need a group home. They're calling me from Cleveland because they can't find any. And we've just had probably a dozen of them in the last year in this area shut down.
Right.
And it's because the money doesn't make sense. And yes, you want to help people, but you also can't go up your entire life for free.
Right.
Like you have to have some money coming in there.
Responsibility. The group home business is a huge responsibility.
Yeah. The liability is, and plus they're more challenged.
That's what I say. It's high risk.
Yeah. Now, what do you think the solution is for that? Because the state gives them money because they don't have insurance that we can charge. Like we can't charge Medicaid for the adults group home or services. Okay.
Right.
But like, how do we solve that problem? Like, how do we get our government and our city leader? One, how do we get our city leaders to stop talking shit when they're in their council meetings, acting like mental health is important to them when they have no idea what's happening in our community with it, other than what they see on the news? That's number one. But number two, how do we get the funding fixed for mental health?
For one, I think it would be smart for us to, like I said, put people in position that have the passion, that have the drive, that know what they're doing when it comes to working with children or working with people in this mental health population. We have to have the right people in place for it, that's trained, skilled, and that know exactly what they're doing. From there, that is going to show how important it is to have, whether it's the group homes or whether it's private practice, whether it's having these facilities available for this population of people. I feel like once we start to build it up, because if we put it in the hands of the politics, the leaders or whoever in the city of Dayton, it won't ever get done. So it's kind of like one of those things that we have to do independently, but as a group. Okay, yeah, you have your group home. Now you're making more connections with therapists. Now the therapist is making more connections with the hospitals. It's a chain, it needs to be more organized in terms of the chain, the process.
Yeah, bring it all together.
What does that look like? Let's bring it together. Because, like you said, it's only so much that they can do versus what they say. Because we're looking at, okay, well, what are we doing? What are we doing for the community? What are we doing for the people? Where is the budget? Where is this money going? Because clearly it's not enough. So I think
not even close to being enough.
So yeah, I think the more that we come together and the more that we show, okay, this is what we're doing, it will make a little bit more sense. One thing that I have noticed is a lot of people have group homes here in Dayton. I never see them promoted. I never see, it's like a secret society or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't market it. The reason we don't is because we're full.
Okay.
We're full 100% of the time. And if I wanted to go fill up 100 more houses, I could. But you can't. It doesn't make financial sense. Like one shut down about a year ago, and they had 5 homes. They shut down like overnight. They were nonprofit. I bought every one of their properties, but without the clients. They'd already moved the clients out, and we had taken some of them.
Right.
But I'm kidding you not. I turned down 2 to 3 referrals a day for mental health. here's what people don't understand about mental health. It is very political. Anytime you have a single group that is involved in deciding where funding goes for things, there's going to be issues. Okay. And in this area, we have a board. I won't say what their name is.
Right. No, I know the board.
Okay. We have a board that has board members, and it changes often, and they decide where the funds go.
Right.
So maybe a year and a half ago, we had a large, I'm going to leave names out of this because I don't want to dox anybody. Okay. Like as far as companies go, because I have a lot of great partners,
right,
and I have some amazing people that I love in the mental health space. There's some people that I can't stand that I think makes it worse for everybody.
Right.
But about a year and a half ago, there was a fight between two organizations.
Right.
One of them being that board.
Right.
You guys can figure out what board it is. And somebody that provided housing for those in the mental health space that were just below the group home level. Because some people can't get, they don't want to approve everybody for a group home. So they're like, okay, like how bad can somebody be that we can still say they're a market renter?
Right. So, that's why they came up with the unlicensed group home.
There you go.
Right.
But they try to find them market rentals, and we are the largest mental health subsidy landlord in this area that I know of. Okay. Now, actually, maybe not right now. What I was going to say was this: we work with this provider that provided housing. Right. They did supportive living. That was their assignment. There was a fight between the boards, and that board ended up taking basically all of their money away for that supportive living function. And we get 0 calls from this group that we used to take 5 or 6 tenants a week from.
Wow.
We haven't housed somebody from that group in probably 8 or 9 months.
Wow.
Because that board took it all back. Now the board's not calling us for renters anymore.
Of course.
So my question is this: where are all those people going now? Where are those people living at? That this group was housing every single week. And like, I kid you not, it was half a dozen every week that we were housing for this group.
Right.
Now there's 0 calls. And I talked to my friends, most people wouldn't even work with them before.
Wow.
Because it was always the ones that right on the border between a group home and being a market renter. So people didn't want the challenges.
So which one do you feel like was more?
The board's the issue.
Okay.
The board's the issue. They made a very conscious decision to take the money that was being used to house the mental health clients. They moved, this is my understanding, okay? And I'm pretty good at understanding research and stuff. They took that money and put it towards reentry programs. So maybe those people still have mental health, but it's the reentry programs. So it went from us getting tenants that we could get past a screening to now everybody they send us, this board, all right, which isn't very many because we don't work with them a lot. Everybody has some crazy background. Right. All right. And there's some, for example, for some reason we get a lot of child sex offenders. Well, there's a lot of our properties we can't put them in because they're close to a school or there's families in there, there's kids in there, like whatever it is. But all of that funding went to it's now reentry programs opposed to just the other mental health clients that were waiting on a wait list for a year and a half, 2 years to find housing. And I've seen so many incredible stories of us taking these renters in. I would say this, about 50-50. 50% of the mental health clients that we housed for this agency before, they would get a job, they would get like stable, they would get functional. And we saw a big turnaround in them. And it started with them having their own housing that had wraparound services with them. Yeah. Okay. 50% of them just got worse, right? Wow. Like, because they get an environment where now they're around dope and drugs and things like that, and it caused them to go deeper. So 50-50 was the results. But I'll take that. Right. I'll take that. Baseball Hall of Fame, Major League. Right. You only have to hit 333 to make it in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. So if we're batting 50% on a mental health standpoint, I'll take those results all day long.
Exactly.
So anyway, that was my rant for the show, was me bitching about this board and how mental health has that.
I hear things about the board. I hear things about the board all the time.
Where developmental disabilities doesn't have that. Right. You have a board that's over top of DD, but almost all of your developmental disability clients, they're market renters. Their case managers and stuff don't decide where they live at. Does that make sense?
Right.
Like their family and them, they decide they want to live here, they want to live in this apartment, and they become market renters. So nobody's controlling their housing.
Right. We need to take this to.
Do you see the difference?
We need to take this to the office.
Let's
been in the
Let's draw up an RV with a wrap and drive around the country and preach this shit. That's what I'm saying.
That's what we need to do.
We should.
Seriously. And even when I was talking about marketing, I'm not saying market for more kids per se. I'm saying market the space as in give yourself the highlight that you need for even having that business. Maybe you could inspire someone else to say, wow, I want to do a group home. I always thought about helping out people in the community in terms of that, because I'm like starting to get very interested and inspired to the group home population.
Yeah.
So I say that to say a lot of people are unaware of who has what group home and what is this group home about? What do they stand for? What are they doing to help these kids? Like, we're not seeing that part. We're not seeing them go from not coming in, 12-year-old, don't even know how to tie his shoe, from now he's 16 on his way to work, new shoes. Like, that's the part of the story that people should see. And I think the more that people see that, they would start to realize that we need available funding, but we also need support. And more importantly, we need collaboration.
Mm-hmm. The last one is key, collaboration. That's the biggest one, because you're right. A lot of people are uneducated about what happens in the mental health space.
Yeah.
And they have no idea. Even case managers that call me sometimes, I'm like, well, we're full on the mental health side. We can't take anybody else. Like, we stay full. But does your client have a disability?
Right.
And they're like, oh yeah, my client is autistic, or they're blank blank, because a lot of times they're cross-diagnosed, right? They're dual diagnosed.
Do you consider substance abuse as a
mental disorder?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Substance abuse is a behavioral issue.
Oh, okay, but there's houses for substance abuse, right?
There's sober living.
Sober living, yeah.
Yeah, but there's not like government funding necessarily for sober living most of the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there is for some nonprofits and things, and you can do it, but it's not. It's tough. It's tough.
Like, it's not worth it.
Yeah. Well, I will say I've done sober living.
Yeah.
And the way to do it in real estate is, if you own real estate properties, you can master lease your property to like a nonprofit that wants to do it. They want to provide the sober living, so they put their staff inside there, which that happens a lot in Dayton. So if I'm a landlord and I don't want to deal with tenants, that's a perfect solution.
Right.
I take my property that I'm having trouble renting, I master lease it to a nonprofit, like maybe an addiction treatment center or whatever, and then their staff staffs the house. The beautiful thing is that they're responsible for all the maintenance. Wow. They're responsible for any damage. They're responsible for anything. It's basically a triple net lease. So as a landlord, all you got to do is buy the property. So there's where I think we can make some crazy, huge change in that space.
Yeah.
Is as I teach people how to buy real estate, I'm like, you don't have to deal with tenants. Like, get a master lease with addiction place or a sober living facility.
Right.
Just collect the rent. They're responsible for everything else, right? Like, it's a beautiful situation.
But people are not aware of that.
Yeah, but the mental health space, that's tough because there's a lot of restrictions. Like, you have in this area, you have to have a Class 2 residential facility license.
Yeah.
It's tough to get. The packet is like this.
Right.
Have you ever looked at it?
It costs too, right?
It's not. I mean, it's like $850.
Like the accreditation to do it.
Yeah, it's not super expensive. Okay, like a couple $1,000, you can start your company.
Yeah.
But then you got to have your LLC. You got to have your payroll set up.
Right.
You have to, if you're going to do a group home, your group home has to be completely sprinklered and fire alarm now, which most of the older homes in Dayton are not. You got to have kind of, the qualifications aren't really high for being able to do it. Like, you need to have your degree and things like that. But the packet is literally hundreds of pages. And it's like all these checklists, bang, 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 bang. And most people get out there and they do it. And here's the problem. The state doesn't publicize how much you get paid per client. So somebody gets out there and they go through this entire packet, and then they realize, okay, they only gave me a license for 4 people.
Right.
And I can only charge $1,600 a person, and that has to cover everything. So now we got $6,400 a month.
Which is kind of...
Well, it sounds good.
Yeah.
But now you think, what would you pay a staff member to be there? Let's call them your house manager, because they don't have to be qualified.
Right.
They just have to have like a driver's license, graduated high school, clean background check, CPR training. Like, that's about it. So what would you pay somebody for like that in this area?
15
to 20, somewhere in there, depending on what you're doing. So 15 is a great number, right? Because that's what most places pay, is $15-$16. Now do that times 24 hours a day.
Right.
365 days of the year. add on an extra 20% for your unemployment taxes.
Right.
So, the taxes that you pay as an employer with workers' comp, like all the taxes you pay as an employer. Now, tack on all your food supplies that you got to add, food supplies. You got to have snacks there. You got to have dinners there. Are you going to have internet there? Are you going to have cable there? When you start doing the math on something like that, you're going to be like,
you chucking off
shit,
all of that.
I had to pay to run this group home. Like, I didn't make any money. That's the problem.
The profit starts to disappear.
It completely vanishes, right? You have to have a group home for the numbers to work. Now, here's how people get away with it. Some of the group homes in the area that have been running for a long time, here's what they do. They have somebody just live in the home. They don't put them on payroll. So they're not paying like multiple employees to come in and out. Okay. And they just have somebody like a caregiver, like they just have them live in the home.
Like a chaperone.
Yeah. Like maybe you have a 4-unit apartment complex. Yeah. One of the apartments is a caregiver that just lives there all the time. Yeah. And that's their 24-hour staff. Yeah. Now, they're not always there 24 hours a day. Like there's a bunch of shady ones that are out there. But they'll just have and they'll be like, oh, well, I'll just give you free rent for the month.
Right.
Well, now $1,600 a month, you can make a little bit of money off of it. Right. But if you're a legit entrepreneur and a legit business owner, you can't operate like that.
Right.
Because if I get caught paying somebody something that I didn't put in payroll and pay taxes, which I came here before I interviewed from an IRS audit.
Yeah.
I just sat there for 2 hours with an IRS agent, going through my taxes for 2023, 3 years later. So the last thing I want to do is get caught doing something that's illegitimate. But that's how some of the group homes get away with it.
Right. Okay.
I'm giving you all kinds of nuggets.
That's some good information.
Yeah. Let's talk about your book, though. Understanding Anger. What made you write it?
Well, I had to take an anger management class, a certification
Here
class.
It comes.
Not
anger management through the court because you beat a girl up over a boy?
No. I just had to do
the story's not even going to be good now.
For work. I had to do it for work. I had to become certified for work, and I had so many notes. I'm a note writer. So I wrote down a lot of notes, and during COVID, one day I was just bored, and I put all the notes together, and I was like, this is a book. So I decided to formulate the book, and I was going off analytics. I was going off of my audience at the time. It was mainly men.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need a product to sell because I had a self-care collection at the time. So a lot of my self-care collection clients were women, of course. So I was like, I need to come out with a product for men that can help men or something that my men audience could have. And that's what made me come up with Understanding Anger. If you see on the front page of the cover, it's a man.
Mm-hmm. So somebody gets that book. Where can they get the book at, by the way?
Amazon.
Just go to Understanding Anger.
Kindle and on paperback form.
Okay. Somebody reads that book. What are they going to get from the book?
They're going to get an understanding of anger, of course, but they're going to also realize how important peace is. And it's very important to protect your peace, and it's also very important to react to certain things in the right way.
Yeah.
In a healthy way. Let's not say right, because who am I to say is right or wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Especially considering my background. I used to fight.
Yeah, so. In a healthy way.
Exactly.
I like that.
So, like I said, once you read the book, you'll be able to respond to anger, respond to confrontation in a healthy way. In one of the chapters, I talk about environment, how your childhood could affect the way that you see anger or play a part in your anger. In my last chapter, I talk about, just like I said, finding peace. How do you find peace? How do you change your perception? You use perspective to work in your favor. Your perception. That's how I do it. Like, if I find myself getting upset, I have to literally twist my perception, just so that I'm not reacting in a way of anger or frustration.
I love it. So for guys, for girls, for youth?
For youth, yeah. For youth as well.
All right, so if you guys want to pick up a copy of that book, make sure you go to Amazon, Understanding Anger.
Yep.
And your name?
Tieara Leeann.
I wasn't asking you what your name was. I'm saying under Amazon, it's under your name, right?
You could type in Tieara Leeann and my book will come straight up.
So go grab it, man. What do you guys got to lose? You ain't got nothing to lose. You're sitting there angry with yourself. The hole in your drywall is going to cost you more than the book.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the podcast, though. We haven't got into that yet. So, minding my mental.
Correct.
Like mind your business.
Exactly.
But it's mind your mental. That's what you should have titled it. Mind your mental.
Mind your mental?
Yeah.
Mind my mental. Mind your mental.
I'm just kidding. I like the name of it.
It has a little ring to it.
Minding your mental.
Minding my mental.
Minding my mental.
M.
Triple M.
Yep.
I like it. So you filming it down in Atlanta?
Yep.
What are you guys talking about?
We already filmed it.
Can I be on it?
You can come on. We talk about.
Don't play with my emotions. Like when I'm in Atlanta, I'm stopping by. I'm gonna pull up. All right. So what are you guys talking about on there?
So we usually bring up latest controversial issues. So it's not all about mental health. It's just giving our perspective. So it's three therapists, include myself. It'll be 4, but it's another woman. She's a LPC, a licensed therapist, and it's twins. So they're also LPCs, therapists, but we all have different personalities. We all come from different backgrounds. So it's kind of interesting to see the perspective for professional people, but people who come from different walks of life. So we kind of chime in on our perspective on different topics, whether it's about eating disorders, because like I said, one of the therapists, that's her expertise. So she helps people out with eating disorders, relationship advice. It could be body dysmorphia. Like we touch on a lot of different topics. Self-care, the importance of physical fitness, how to control your anger, how to control yourself during relationships, moving to Atlanta, dating in Atlanta, just different things. I mean, it's exciting topics just because, like I said, we try to stick to like hot topics and stuff. And we also have like a teleprompter where people can come in and ask questions on a prompter.
I should come in and we should prank them. You can know about it, but they won't. I'll have every diagnosis they've ever heard of.
Right.
And some crazy stuff.
What would you do?
I just mess with them.
Right.
Like we just let them think that I was there seriously to like talk about my problems.
Well, okay. I have this guy named Todd that want to come in. He really needs.
Yeah, he thinks you guys can help him.
Yeah.
And then I'll come down and like I'll just have the craziest stories. I can do it.
Dye your hair blue.
I'm a good actor.
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
Like pop the balloon to Sangela, and I'll like tell them that like my local TV show did a pop the balloon. All the girls popped the balloon, and now I've been doing something crazy because all the girls like popped the balloon on me. We'll have like a bunch of crazy stories like that.
Go for it.
Or one of my good friends, a famous comedian, Donnell Rawlings.
Really?
I could bring him in, and me and him could act like a couple with like crazy fights. That would be, Miles. What do you think? Me and Donnell, we can go to her podcast, act like a couple with all of her therapists.
That's hilarious.
And the other therapists won't know about it. And we'll have some crazy fights. Hey, but if you watch this, I'd slap Donnell. I'd be like, man, you didn't make my dinner right last night.
Right. That is hilarious.
But I am for real. I am going to come next time we're in Atlanta. I'll be down there this year. We'll stop by. We'll do some more together.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah. So, okay, if people want to get in contact with you, one, I think you're doing amazing work, which is why it was no question to have you on the podcast. You have a great personality. Like you can just tell that you have this beautiful soul about you that really wants to impact lives. How do people get a hold of you? What's the easiest way?
The easiest way is just follow me on all social media platforms, LinkedIn to YouTube, Instagram.
Are they all under Tieara Leeann?
Tieara Leeann.
Tieara Leeann. And if you guys can't find it, just go to my social page. You follow me. She's one of my friends on there. Okay. You can find her on there.
Yeah. Or visit my website, IAAP at Tearra.com.
All right. Anything we forget today? Like anything we want to put on there?
Anything?
We talked about your book. We talked about your amazing work, your incredible podcast, what your mission is. Anything we forgot? Like I feel like we ran through a bunch of stuff.
We went through a lot of stuff. Great information.
Yeah.
Maybe just close out with something that like motivational words that I'll give to somebody.
Yeah, let's hear them.
In Dayton. What?
That's it. That's your camera right there.
Oh, okay.
Look right in that camera. Give me motivational words in Dayton.
So my main thing that I did want to get out from this show and this podcast was to give hope to women like myself that came from a small town, Dayton, Ohio, that may feel like you're lost or stagnant, or you want more. You may feel like a shark in a fish tank. And I get that. I just want to give you hope, and I want to tell you to keep pressing forward, and anything is possible. Don't doubt yourself. If you have dreams, go after them, because it can happen. As long as you put your mind to it, and long as you train yourself to really get things done and to have that belief, you got to believe in yourself. Anything is possible. You can achieve it. You can do it. Those are some of the words that I definitely want to leave, especially to people in Dayton, Ohio, because I know that it's hard, being from a small town and not having that motivation behind you, or people that can be in your ear every single day to inspire you, to lift you up, to tell you to keep going. This is that message right here. So if you listen to this, you heard it from me, Tieara Leeann. Keep going, keep shining, and I'm out.
Hey, man, I love it. But listen, if you guys aren't following my girl, Tieara Leeann, make sure you go follow her today. It'd be well worth it. I promise. And I don't think we mentioned it, but you are expanding into the Dayton area, yes?
Yes, I am.
So if you guys are looking for help for your kids, if you're looking for therapy for yourself, if you're looking for just an overall, just great life coach and great personality that you can talk to and help get yourself through maybe a sticky situation. And let's be, guys, I go to therapy myself, not with Tearra. I don't think she could handle all the shit that's up here. But I've been going to therapy for a very long time. There is no shame in it. And if you need help just getting past something, reach out to my girl. She's coming to Dayton anyway. She can help you anywhere you're in the country. You don't have to be in person. She can help you anywhere, and her amazing network can help you guys. Go follow her social media. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.